Hey everyone, it's a little bit of a gloomy day here in San Antonio, so I thought what better day to shine a little light into my life and yours by showing you my collection of face highlighters. I have quite a range and quite a collection. I didn't realize quite how many times can I say quite? I didn't realize how many I have amassed. I am a highlighter junkie and there are probably still more on my list that I want. So I'm just going to start grabbing them as they come randomly in the box. I have my box right here. And then at the very end, I will let you know which ones are my favorite. So a recent addition is this one from Physicians Formula. It's the Powder Palette Mineral Glow Pearls in Translucent Pearl. And I bought this recently at a sale at CVS. Looks like that. And it has a nice little compartment that's absolutely useless. I would never use the brush. And it has a little mirror under there as well. But anyway, this is pretty much your basic, looks a little chalky there, but very basic kind of neutral champagne-y gold color. I will say, I'm just going to go for it and say that for a drugstore product, this is probably my favorite highlighter. It's still pricey for drugstore. It's still about, I think it's well over $10 when it's not on sale. But if you can catch this on a sale, I would recommend picking that up. Another one that is probably, boy, it's gonna be hard to pick a favorite. It's like asking someone to name their favorite child. This is another drugstore one. This is technically a blush. It's by e.l.f. and it's called Gotta Glow. And I would say that they're trying to dupe this as an NARS Albatross, which I don't own, so I can't tell you how close it is, but it's definitely a more golden color. And there it is, as compared to Physicians Formula. I'll try to swatch that. What I like about this one, it's a little more pigmented, it's a little more golden, so if you want that warmer color, if you're more tan or that's just kind of the look you're going for, I would recommend this. I also like this as an eyeshadow in the inner corner to brighten up your face. And I believe this is $3 and you can get it online and you can also, I think, find it at Target. Now, if you live overseas, at least in the UK, you can grab this at your local chemist, I think you call it. In the United States, it does ship and the shipping is very reasonable. It's a sleek product and this is the Face Contour Kit. And this is technically a drugstore product and this by far is my favorite drugstore product. But living in the US, you do have to order it. What I love about this, it comes with the contour powder and the highlighter. So it's double duty. I can't remember the exact price, but I know it's under $10. I never really reach for this, but this is my favorite drugstore highlighter. I use it all the time, and there's still barely a dent. I don't even know if you can see that. And I gravitate more to the warmer colors. That's really packed on. I don't like the silvery kind of highlights. And it's beautiful. It blends well. I like the packaging. It's very compact. I can travel with this. Usually when I'm traveling, I will pack this as my highlighter. Here's a new one that I featured recently in a video. This is the Mark Touch and Glow. And I picked this up because I tweeted Jamie Greenberg, who's one of their celebrity makeup artists, and I asked her what I should get if I were to place an order, and she recommended this among several other products. And this, I won't go into too much detail because I talked about it in other videos, is very unique in that it looks pretty much pink. You can use each of these individual squares as individual eyeshadows, but I just like to swirl my brush around. It's very soft to the touch, almost creamy, and you can see that it has a golden bronze almost appearance to it. When you put it on the skin, it's skin tone color, so it just looks like you gleam without an obvious, as they say, snail trail on your face. I really do like this product, and I will put a link, well, to all the products, but I'll put a link to this in the description box. Another new item for my collection, I got this in New York, and even though I got it at a drugstore, I wouldn't call this a drugstore product. I picked this up at Duane Reade, and it's the Balms Mary Luminizer. And this has a cult following, and I'm actually wearing it today. It comes in this huge, I mean, you do get a lot for your money. It comes in this huge pan, it comes with a huge mirror, and it's very soft, very creamy, very golden. And there it is, watched. A little goes a long way here. I'm wearing it today, and honestly, there's a little too much going on for me. I think this is way more pigmented, so use a very light hand. I tried using it with a duo fiber brush. My favorite way to apply it is with a fan brush. It just gives you just a glisten, and this packs the punch. Also great as an all over lid color. It's very similar to Max Nylon if that's a look that you like, or inner corner highlight if you don't want something that intense. But that's Mary Luminizer. It's pretty cool. This has been my favorite for a very long time. This is the Hard Candy. They market this as a bronzer. It's the So Baked bronzer in number 129 Tiki. This is a new package. I finally retired my original one, and you can see it's another golden one. I would not think this would be a bronzer unless you are an albino, and even then it wouldn't be. It has that golden glow. It's less in your face obnoxious than the Mary Luminizer, but I just love the natural flush, not flush, but the natural glisten that you get. It's very flattering on medium to paler skin tones, and I think this is very much tied with Sleek as my favorites. What else do we have? Oh, here is another Sleek product. This is the Glow Face and Body Highlighter. I got it in Peach Shimmer. This reminds me a lot of the Bobbi Brown Shimmer bricks, I think, or Physicians Formula makes something like this. Again, you could use the individual colors, or you could just swirl your brush around and make a muddy mess and get that. And that's much more deep and golden. So this is something I would recommend if you have deeper skin tone. You get a much better, deeper color. If you're worried, I would just maybe on a lighter skin tone, either use a lighter hand or don't swirl all the colors together. But it's a nifty little product. This has received some cult following and a little bit of attention lately. This is one of the Hourglass Ambient product powders, and mine is in diffused light, and mine got, oh, there it goes. Can you see that little ding? Okay, that's one of the reasons I don't love this. This is very soft, it's very delicate. And in the store, it's really hard to find one that doesn't have a dinged corner. I have used this as a finishing powder all over my face, but lately when I just want something a little subtle, I will use it on my cheekbones. And it's kind of right, there's a lot going on, I realize, but it's just a lot more subtle, a little more understated. Maybe you don't want a full-on highlighter during the day. Reach for one of the ambient powders. And this one, like I said, is in diffused light. I'm gonna finish up with my cream ones. Another one that's a little more subtle, a lot more user-friendly is the Lorac Perfectly Lit. And I have it in Spotlight. And I have the travel size one. It came in a kit. And then I loved it. I used it all up, and then I picked up the big one. And this one, again, is if you are a little leery about just jumping into the highlighter thing, the Lorac Perfectly Lit. It's very close to skin tone, so it won't just jump out at you. It blends well, and it just gives you a nice glow without sparkle and too much of a dramatic look. A few more powders left, and then I just have a handful of non-powders. This one is no longer available in MAC stores, but I picked mine up at the CCO, which, if you're not familiar, is an outlet store for all the cosmetic companies that are owned by Estee Lauder. So you'll find discounted products and limited edition products that are made by Estee Lauder, Clinique, MAC. There's some Bobbi Brown in there at mine. I've seen Origins in there. There is some Michael Kors fragrance. There's just totally random stuff. But the big ones are Estee Lauder, MAC, and Clinique. So I've seen this constantly in my local CCO. And this one's called Too Chic. And it's a shame that it's hard to get. It's a beauty powder, but it looks, very similar to the Lorac Perfectly Lit in Spotlight. It's subtle, and it's more of a skin tone, a very light skin tone. But I just think it leaves a beautiful finish on the cheeks, Cupid's bow. You can be a little more heavy-handed with this, down the bridge of your nose. Love it. And my last powder one. Wrigley wants to ring the bell. My last powder one was my big splurge a few months back. It's the Dior. Everyone calls this Amber Diamonds. Good luck going to a store and finding Dior Amber Diamond. It doesn't exist. What you're looking for is the Dior Skin Powder Shimmer. Well, shimmer powder. In French, it's this. This is what it is. And the shade is Amber Diamond. It also comes in a rose, probably rose diamond. Okay, so pretty packaging that did not hold up. You can see where mine broke. So the lid comes off completely. So can't travel with it. But I'm left with this. And it is a splurge. It is quite expensive. I have no clean fingers. Let me try. There it is. And yes, it's beautiful. And yes, it shimmers. There it is. It's got the bronzy shade there. And it looks beautiful on the skin. But I can pretty much duplicate that with almost any of the other powders that I've shown. Especially the sleek one that had the, where is it? The glow one that had some of the deeper colors I could get in there. The Mark one. So yes, it's beautiful, but is it worth the almost $50? But I will use it up, but no, it's not. Now on to my liquid ones. This one I got in the same, no, when did I get that? I got this as part of the birthday gift from Sephora. And it's the teeny tiny little trial size version of Benefit's What's Up. And it's this little, almost like a lipstick tube. And it's definitely golden. And I just put this right on my cheek before I powder. But what's great about this is that you can also put it on after you powder. I put it right on my cheekbones. I can put it on my Cupid's bow. Sometimes I'll even put it on my lips. Actually, oops, didn't want to do right then. Before I put on my lipstick, put it in the center of my lips to make the center of my lips appear fuller, to attempt to have some sort of lip going on. It lasts all day long. This is one of the most long-wearing highlighters that I own. It's a cream, dries to a powder. If you really want a lot of bang on your face, follow this up with a powder highlighter and you will have, at least your cheekbones will look amazing forever, or until you wash it off. Another Benefit product, and there are lots of knockoffs. This is the Benefit High Beam. And I don't love this. It's very difficult, I find, to work with. It comes with, it's like a nail polish bottle. And I don't want to put my hand behind it and have it ooze, but you brush it on. And then, I don't though. What I would do is put it on the back of my hand like I just did, there, and then take my hand and dab it on. And I'm not going to do that. But it's hard. I feel like it's harder to work with because it's so liquidy. It'll migrate a little bit farther than where you want it. And I have found that it leaves that sort of wet slime trail up the face. So if you really want to use this and you're looking for a foundation that's more glowy, luminous kind of, shall we say, I would use this by dipping a few drops of this and mixing it with your foundation and then just do it all over instead of in certain spots. And then the last thing that I like using for a highlighter when I want maybe a more subtle daytime look, or I want to do a little more intense sculpting of the face, is this very well-worn Maybelline Dream Lumi Concealer. And this one is in Ivory. And it has a click-up pen. And I will literally just brush this on my cheekbones, down the center of my nose, and the Cupid's bow, and sometimes over each eyebrow. And then take my foundation brush and blend that in over my foundation. And it just lifts everything up. I also like to use this. This is just another little tip. It's light reflecting, so it makes some things actually look less deep, like lines. So I will literally paint this onto the lines in my forehead, onto especially this one side of my mouth. That wrinkle is deeper than this one, but I'll put them both on my crow's feet and pat that in with either my finger or a brush or a beauty blender. And it gives you the illusion that those wrinkles are less deep and smaller. So that is my collection. And like I said, if I had to pick, I still go with the drugstore. I'd have to say it's a toss-up between the Hard Candy So Big Bronzer in Tiki and the Sleek Face Contour Kit. Mine is in light. That is another thing, is it does come in light, medium, and I believe dark. And then if I had to pick, a higher end one, I wouldn't go for the Dior. I think I would probably pick the Mary Luminizer because while it is a very intense shade, so is the Dior Amber Diamond Shimmer Powder, but you get a lot for your money, and I think it's a better product. So there you have it, my favorite picks and my entire collection of face highlighters. Let me know what you use every day. What do you use during the day? Do you use something different at night? I'm always curious. Is there a product I don't have that you feel I must have? Put that all in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.